everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at 6 different card games and dice games here, and we'll see what we think of them. A bunch of small little games, but small doesn't mean bad. Let's take a look. Beaks is a game about squawking seagulls. If you've ever been on the beach and you've heard seagulls squawking and you thought, hey, I would love the sound of this to become a board game. Hey, am I happy for you? Now, this is a game in which you're going to use tweezers to pick up pieces of food like seagulls do. They will hunt down food and grab it out of people's hands. I've seen it firsthand. So that's what this game's about. Let's take a look. There's a bunch of wooden food here, and each person has these tweezers, which are supposed to be a seagull's beak. Putting them up the beak and say 3, 2, 1, squawk, and then everyone is going to start grabbing pieces here. Some pieces are harder to pick up than others. In fact, I will say that picking up the pizza piece here is actually impossible unless you can get underneath it somehow or push it up against another piece. As soon as you have something, so this says 2 sandwiches. So let's say I managed to get 2 sandwiches. Then I put my beak up and say squawk. Everyone else also has to put their beak up and say squawk. If you have any food, you drop it. If you've already collected some food, good for you. That person gets his card, which is worth points here, 3 points. And then that card is replaced, and we continue on. And once someone gets 10 points, the game mercifully is over. That person wins. Now look, I'm trying to be reasonable. There's a lot of these little games with little wooden pieces, and people like to grab things. I get that. I try to be reasonable about a game that makes you put your thing up and go squawk, and then go down, and every 2 seconds, squawk, and everyone has to do that. Okay. But this game still is terrible. And I don't like those things anyway. But let's say you did like them. I still don't think it's terrible. Part of it is, it's really hard to pick up the pieces. Those pizza pieces are almost impossible, which would make sense if they were 8 points. But these cards are, this game is just a bad game. The cards here, you can pick up 2 sausages and 2 chips, 2 fries, and gives you 2 points. 1 sandwich gives you 2 points. 2 ice creams gives you 3. But if there's 2 sandwiches that gives you 3, that might be worth picking up. I'm trying to find one here that has pizza on it. Here, 2 pizza and 2 fries gives you 5 points. By the time you get that up, someone's going to grab a bunch of other cards. There's a lot of things in here that are just 1 or 2 items, and everyone is grabbing the same thing. So you're grabbing stuff and someone else is like, got it. You're like, well, that's worthless for me now. Okay, I'll try to get this. And fortunately, it's a short game. But other than that, I hate everything about it. I hate how it looks. I hate the squawking. But I especially hate that the game itself just feels completely random. Beaks for me is a 3 out of 10. Don't like it. Another Uno. This is Uno Zero. Now, my family loves Uno, and so we're grabbing all the Unos. And some of the Unos have become so mean and so crazy that we have hands of 20 cards and draw 20s and all kinds of nonsense. Uno Zero is not quite the same thing here. Uno Zero is actually an Uno version of golf. Now, Uno has invaded other games' domains before. There's an Uno Jenga. Well, now there's an Uno Golf. They're just calling it Uno Zero. This is a game that you probably maybe have played a spin-off of it where you have a bunch of cards in front of you and you want the lowest total. But this is an Uno twist to it. In this game, each person is going to place 6 cards face down in front of them randomly and then turn 1 face up. On your turn, use some actions that you can take. You can take the top card from the draw pile, reveal it, and you can replace any card here. So maybe I'll replace this one. I'll put the 1 there, reveal this one, and it goes into the discard pile. I can also take the top card from the discard pile and replace a card if I want to do that. Now, I might do that in this case because if they're both the same color or the same number, they go away. Other than that, I won't take this 10 again in the future. I'll take this 0 and put it here because I'm trying to get rid of high numbers. Now, when you discard a card to the pile with a special symbol, this reverses turn order, this skips, this you make someone draw another row of 2 cards in front of them, and the 22, you can make 2 people draw 2 cards or 1 person draw 4. As soon as 1 person has all their cards face up in their grid, in this case these go away because they're both all the same color, and so let's say I end with this, that will end the round. Everyone turns all their cards face up, and this is the score that you get. And of course, you want to have the lowest score possible. It's just like Uno. If you're down to 1, let's say my cards are like this, and I have 1 card face down, I have to say Uno, just like the base game. After 9 rounds of this, whoever has the lowest score is the winner. I didn't hate this. I really thought it was fine. I don't think it's amazing. I give this one a 6 out of 10. But it's It's cute. I mean, you're flipping cards, and the idea of putting, hey, I want that 3 in the draw pile because I have a 3 in front of me, and then I can get rid of both of them. The draw 2 and the skips targeting specific players and things like that, that's Uno, and having to say Uno when there's only one face down card. It's not a long game necessarily, but 9 rounds is ridiculously long. Even my kids who can play Uno forever, after like 4 or 5 rounds, are like, it's done now, right? I'm like, it is. You don't have to play 9 rounds. The cards look nice. The whole thing comes across really well. It's going to be sold in mass market stores, so it's fine. I don't love it, but I don't love golf anyway, or Cabo, or Silver, or many of the other variants. I'm not a big fan of that style of game, but I thought this one was palatable, and especially when playing with my kids. So, like I said, 6 out of 10. Cat Burglars. For some reason, people think cats want to become burglars. It happens more often than you think in games. Well, in this game, you're forming a group of burglars. Here's how it plays. In this game, you are using cats of different colors, basically. Each one has a different color / symbol to steal the golden balls of yarn. And so you have a hand of cards, and on your turn, you have 5 different actions. You can take 1 action of these. One, you can take 2 cats. You can take one of the face-up ones and or from the top of the deck. Or you can form a cat crew. Now, a cat crew is a little confusing. So I play a cat crew. That's what I do. I play a card there. I cannot play another card into this cat crew until I start a second one that's the same. And then I can play another cat crew here. If I want to play one on this one, I have to have 2 that are the same before I can add one to this one, which then allows me to add another one to this one, which wouldn't be yellow. It would be a different color. Now, another action you can do is you can hide a golden ball of yarn underneath one of your piles. In the future, as an action, you can reveal that. And if it matches one of the colors there, so if I put it here, it's a golden ball of yarn and you keep it. And you have to get a certain number of golden balls of yarn, depending on the number of players, to win the game. So let's say 8 golden balls of yarn. If you have one that's not the color, it's a trap. Now, your opponent can call you out. Let's say my opponent thinks this is red or blue. They can discard a blue card from their hand to show that, and I'm like, yeah, it is a golden ball of yarn. It matched one of the colors. They get that instead of me. But if it's a trap, let's say I put it here, and I think it's definitely one of those, they would play that card. And by the way, they don't have to play a blue card. They would have to play all the cards there. They have to play a blue and red. So here, if they play an orange, yellow, and red, then I would say, nope, it's a trap, and then I can add this to one of my crews, starting another new crew here. And that's how the game is played. You're just going to go back and forth trying to bluff each other and play cards. There are all different color cats in the pile. There are even these magical cats, which can be any color. This game does not have that many rules, and yet every time I'm playing it, I'm like, what? Huh? The putting out the groups of cat burglars is convoluted itself to explain. It's essentially a folding pattern. But the way they explain it, and you have to show people, and it's like, And then the whole game is really about bluffing, right? About, hey, I have a golden ball of yarn here, and I put it next to my red and blue cat, and I have a red one. But I want to wait till I have a bigger crew, because if I have a bigger crew, you need to play more cards from your hand to call me out my bluff, which wasn't a bluff anyway. There's just no game here, really. There's a little bit of bluffing, but there's hundreds of games that are really good at bluffing. And playing the cards, it doesn't add anything to the game. And cats, lasers, it's not like it's terrible necessarily. It's not like a bad time when you're playing it, but it feels like there's so much to do about so little. So I have to give this one a 5 out of 10. I really can't recommend Cat Burglars. Dice Pool Party, a small little game like Yahtzee. Here's how it plays. In Pool Party, you're going to have these 12 dice here, and we have 6 pairs of dice, and there's different sizes that just helps you tell the difference between yellow and green and blue and purple, or etc. So you're going to have these. This is the pool. You're going to put the cover on the pool, and then you're going to, actually, you put it on this way here like this, and you're going to shake it up, and then I'm going to reveal it. 3, 2, 1, and then you cover it up. Now, everybody has looked at it for those 3 seconds. You're going to pick a category to score, and you'll put a little check mark in that white circle. So let's say I pick pink. We then reveal it. I get the total of what's on the pink dice, 5. Would have been much better to have picked green or blue there. I could have also picked, for example, 4s, 5s, or 6s. If I had picked 6s, I would have scored 18 points. 5s would have got me 15 points. I could also check 1, 2s, and 3s. That one got me a lot, but there is a good chunk of them. And then I could pick this one here. This middle one basically says for every pair that's the exact same, which is not the case. There's none. But let's say I rolled 2 yellow 5s and there were 2 green 6s. Those are 2 that are exact same. They give you 10 points each. And then once per game, you can also check everything and just add up the pips of all of it. So once you do a color or a number like that, you can't do it again that round. You'll take these up, roll them again. What do you see? 2, 1, boom. There I would have taken pink, 11. But 6s might have been better there. It's up to you. Once you play it around and everyone has filled in every single one of these, you add up the scores and the highest score wins. I am impressed. Dice Pool Party is actually one of my most played games from last year. Now, not because I love it. I do like it a lot. My rating for it has gone up. It's a 7.5. I think it's a very enjoyable game. But it's just so easy to play. I shake the box, tell everyone how to play it. It's like Yahtzee. There's a little bit of memory, quick. Okay, there's a lot of 6s. I'll pick 6s now. Everyone's doing the same thing, but you're going to start picking things, and later on, you're going to pick 5s when you see 3 of them, and at some point, I'm going to roll 7 5s when I shake up the pool, and you're going to be like, should have waited till now. That's silly and fun. It's very much like Yahtzee, because you have the different categories you're filling in, but you have to do some quick recognition. It's a great filler, we call these, something to play in between other games. It's a great game. This is one of those games that you can play on an airplane. You could play at a dinner table before they serve you the main course. It just fits in those situations really well. So I don't know that, at the end of time, I'll be like, Dice Pool Party, one of my favorite games ever. But it's a solid game for what it is and worth checking out. Squirrels, the card game. And I got to be, clear on that because there's a lot of games out there called Squirrels. So this one is called Squirrels, the card game. And this is a game in which this is based on a whole bunch of the same style games where you have cards in front of you and cards in your hand. You're trying to get rid of all of them. And the pile's in front of you and you get 4 of the same number. I'm going to show you the rules and you'll see. At the beginning of the game, players are going to get some stacks of cards in front of them where the top card is face up, and then they're going to get a handful of cards. These cards are number cards, squirrel cards, cards that say things like skip and push, etc. The top 4 cards are considered part of your hand. On your turn, you play a card or cards in the middle of the table to a pile. So maybe on my next turn, I can play these. They have to be smaller than that number. They don't have to be the next one. I could play a 6 on top of a 9. Whenever you play a card from these piles, you're going to take the top card and add this card to your hand. If you play a skip card, you put this card in front of another player, and their next turn is skipped. Then they discard the card. If you play a push card, you push this whole pile to someone else. They have to take those cards in their hand. If you play a card there, or you can't play a card that's lower, you have to take the whole pile into your hand. If there are ever 4 of the same number there, let's say there are 4 8s here, then the pile goes away and we continue on. And a squirrel played on top will do the same thing. It will get rid of the entire pile, so it goes away and we continue. Now when you get to your last cards, there's 1 card left here. You can play these, but you have to play them blind. So, nope, I busted. These cards now go in my hand. Oh, push, that's nice. And sometimes you're lucky when you turn them over. Anyway, you're trying to get rid of all your cards. The first person to get rid of all their cards triggers the end of the round. They're safe. You can't have any more cards given to you at that point. And they get 0 points. Everyone else will add all the value of all the cards that they have. And wild, push, skip, and squirrel cards are 20 points each. And then you'll play several rounds. And whoever has the most points is the winner. The fewest points, sorry. First of all, this game does not look good at all. I know that, with all due respect to the person who took the very nice pictures of squirrels, the game just looks boring. There's nice pictures of squirrels, but that's it. The nut cards are boring. The numbers are boring. It feels like something someone did on their own as a prototype. And then it's just boring. It's one of these games. There's Pig Pile exists, and Richard Garfield made a ghost version of this. I probably played this particular game like 10 different times, 10 different ways. And this is one of the most boring versions of it, unfortunately. Having a skip card and reverse, the mix things, or push. I'm just giving cards to a random person because ha ha ha. And then it lasts, 1 round, you're like, oh, is that enough? And on the box here, it says 15 to 45 minutes. No one wants to play this game for 45 minutes. So I can't recommend it. I don't think it's very good. And if you like the style game, there are other ones out there that are better. So I'd give this one a 4 out of 10. Jingle Bell Roll. Hey, it's a Christmas-themed dice game. It says a cozy and casual Christmas dice game. Why is it called cozy? Because every game nowadays has the word cozy thrown in to appeal to the current generation. This is a game in which you get to roll dice like Yahtzee, roll, re-roll, re-roll. Here's how it plays. In this game, each player has a character, and you are going to get the special ability of that character. And you also have a color, which will keep track of your score marker on this particularly terrible score track. I know you're supposed to be moving along your marker here, but it covers them up. Are you supposed to flip it? It goes back and forth. It's not a good score track. But you have these markers here to keep track of how many calendar days you have. Everyone starts with a card, which I'll talk about in a second. On your turn, you take the 7 dice, and you will roll them. If you roll any bells, you can't re-roll them. But other than that, you can keep stuff. So maybe I'll keep these 2 lists. I will keep 1 stocking, and I'll re-roll the rest. Ooh, I got 3 more stockings. That's pretty good. And I'll re-roll this. And I got another list, which was terrible. You only get 2 re-rolls. And why is that terrible? Because 2 lists give you 7 points, because Santa checks his list twice. Everything else is 0. The stockings, on the other hand, got me 8 points for 4 stockings. Gifts are even better than stockings, but for each gift you get, you have to give a card to someone else. Cookies and milk are nothing by themselves, but each pair is worth 4 points. Bells, like I said, are garbage because you keep them and they're worth nothing and you can't re-roll them. If you do roll 7 bells, which I've not yet seen, you win the game. Also, if you get a certain amount of bells, you can spend them to get a tile, which this would, for example, will always give me a milk on my future turns when playing the game. Also, if you do something, hey, never mind, I forgot I had this card. I rolled 3 lists. I triple checked, so I can turn this card in for 5 points because I rolled 3 lists. Well, it's not as good as 7, but it's better than nothing. So there's lots of cards. Some will give you things like a re-roll, but some will also give you special abilities, special ways to score. A cheat day, milk and a cookie are going to give me an extra 2 points. And after you play a certain number of days, you can play up to Christmas Eve or Christmas if you want a longer game. Whoever has the most points is the winner. This is a very light game. There are some things about it that I really like. I really like I don't like that score track, remember, but I do like that it comes with a little board that you can put your dice on as you collect them. That's just a nice thing for people who are trying to collect sets. It comes with this reference card for everybody. It's pretty simple, and I also like the fact that, hey, if you get 7 bells, you win the game. Like I said, it hasn't happened, but the fact that that's there. Now, the bells themselves, you can spend those to get those tiles, which often are more bells, and yes, that can point you to that ultimate victory, but the game isn't long enough for that to happen. There's only so many rounds. You're not playing this game a very long amount of time. The cards you draw are better. I don't know that I love the gift cards. I almost think that if you get gift cards, you should just start with the person to your left and go around and give each person one, because deciding who gets gifts feels very capricious and how that goes out. But still, it's innocuous. It's simple. So I'm not saying I like it a lot. I think it's fine. I give this one a 6 out of 10. The production value is good, if a little stale, like the cards and everything look like something you would buy at Macy's on clearance. But maybe someone will. And maybe someone will get this as a Christmas-themed game, and that would work for them. So that's Jingle Bell Roll. Not bad, but not great either. Well, there you go, folks. A bunch of small games, Dice Pool Party being the one I liked the most out of these. A very enjoyable little game. You might have different opinions on these. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you love some, I hate it. Maybe you hate the one I liked. Let us know. And either way, thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and I want to say thank you real quick to some of our GameFound backers. Thank you to Connie and Enrique, to Nico and Bina, to Brother Kurt, and to Kelsey Vinanek. So thank you all for supporting the show. Thank you all for watching. See you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.